Okay lads, abort mission. I repeat, abort mission. DX11 hype is over. Game is dead. Oh well, that's what people say. But actually... Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm Faber1, your host as usual. And today we're going to talk about the DX11 hype and the current state of the game. First of all, if you've never heard about Planetside 2, no, it is really not that game. That was just a joke. It is still alive and thriving, actually. Planetside 2 is a game released almost 7 years ago in 2012, but it still receives regular updates. And one of those regular updates was actually a big technical patch, the DX11 patch. DX11 might seem already a bit outdated because some PCs are already using DX12. But coming from DX9, this is actually a pretty decent update. After the update, the game felt a lot more fluent thanks to the better frame rate of the game. But that was not the only thing of the patch. It also came together with the NSO faction. Normally in Planetside 2 there are 3 factions, but in this big patch they also added a 4th faction, which might not be a big new content update, a big content push, because it added nothing much new to the game, but still it was cool to be able to play as a robot in this game as well. Anyway, to go back to the hype, Planetside 2 is not the most popular game, let's make that clear. It is not on Fortnite levels and it is more like a hidden gem. Not a lot of people know about this game. So what happened with this new patch? The owner of the game, Dayrare Games, also known from games like H1Z1 or DC Universe, well, what the guys in that San Diego office of Dayrare Games decided was to do another marketing push for the game. A lot of new players started to play for the first time, a lot of old players returned to the game and rediscovered the game again, and in general there were just a lot more players online at the same time. Like in many other games, having more people online at the same time is very beneficial for your gameplay session. In games like League of Legends or Counter-Strike, you might find the lobby earlier, but in this game it is completely different. Planetside 2 is not a lobby-based game. Planetside 2 is more like your traditional MMORPG, or in this case an MMO FPS, because yes, it is a first-person shooter, first and foremost, but then also with vehicles and other things as well, like base building. So what happens then? You log on, you go to one of the 3 factions, and then you spawn on one of the continents. Anyway, you got 4 continents, and sometimes multiple are open, and sometimes there's only one open. And that first and foremost depends on the amount of players online. Because, well, you got one continent that has a maximum of a certain amount of players, and when that threshold is reached, they will open up a new continent. While all the continents feel like a Planetside continent, they do have their own different playstyles and their own look and feel to it. Some players really prefer one or the other map, and having multiple continents open gives you at least a choice. I like to play an indoor, so I can play an indoor, if it's open at least. What happens right now, during the day there's probably only one continent open, and in the prime time during the night, like 8 PM, yes, then people start to log on again, of course, because people are free and want to game a bit. Then sometimes you have the choice of 2 continents, which is really nice actually. A few weeks ago though, there were a lot more people online during the night, and there were even 3 continents open. That's 3 of the 4, so you had a lot of choice there. You might say to me, Faber, why don't you just open up all the continents? Well, that also has a reason. The more people on the continent, the more fights you will have. Remember ladies and gentlemen, the maps for Planetside 2 is played on are massive. They are being used with airplanes, vehicles, but also on foot. And the more people you have, the more often you will see each other on the map. And if you have less players, well, then it's also hard to spot players on the map. So you have less fights, and less fights normally means less fun. What is happening right now in the game is that also the developers are working on a new spawn system, because you can spawn pretty much everywhere on the map, and you do want to direct the fights a little bit. To direct the fights a bit better, they introduced the ledger system, which basically means that if you want to cap the next base, you can't just go there, but you need to make sure that the previous base in the line in the ledges is already yours or is not being capped right now. I do have to admit though that at the moment the developers are reworking the whole spawn system, and currently it is not working ideal. Unfortunately, the current spawn system that is still work in progress does sometimes kill fights, but like I mentioned, it is right now on the minds of the developers, so they are working on improving it, and I do think it will be good in the end. Anyways, I do think it's clear right now to you guys that having a big population, a big player base is important for Planetside 2. However though, why are people leaving and what happened? This question has already been discussed on the Reddit page, or the Planetside Reddit, and I will link it down below. But Joe Fraser Jr. actually replied as well in this thread, and his comment was pretty insightful, so I might share it with you guys. It was a disaster of an update in terms of horrible bugs. No surprise that new players didn't stick. Just to clarify this a little bit, when the patch released, that was the start of patch month, or patch day, or patch week, whatever. A lot of new bugs were introduced by this new technical update, and it took them quite a while to fix the most important ones. The Infiltrator, the invisible sniper rifle, was really completely invisible if you played on low settings, so that was rather unplayable. And furthermore, there were some bugs with the pain field, the Spitfire turrets kept firing through walls. There were some different things that were really broken, but still the game felt at least playable to me. But I digress, let's read on. I'm a veteran player myself, and half the ship made me want to leave if it wasn't for the double XP. Again, to give some backstory, basically the last 10 days of May were double XP for almost all the players, and even there was a quadruple XP event if you have a paid membership for the game. During these days you could level your characters really fast, and you could earn a lot of certs, the in-game currency. So for a lot of players that was a good incentive to stay playing. Anyway, I completely understand why new players fucked off, and I don't blame them one bit. I wish it was a smooth update, we would be seeing a healthier service, but sure, what can us players do about it? Not our fault, we just play the game. About the final part, I do not completely agree, because we as a community actually helped the developers a lot by supplying a lot of bug reports, so that's really well done by you guys. After like a month, the most apparent bugs really disappeared, so we're on the right path now. I do have to add though that on the 6th of June, the developers pushed a really broken patch to life. And basically, that update made your game crash every 10 to 50 minutes, sometimes even quicker. So that was really broken and you could just not play the game, which was really bad. And I think that was for some people also, that was enough. They had enough of the game. They've seen the new things, they saw the new DX11 update. But still, it is still Planetside 2. It's still, in my idea at least, in my opinion, a very good game in its core. But to some people, it is not their cup of tea. Anyway, that's not the only insightful comment, there were some more. For example, this one by 4WRY. One has to add that this is also summer, and people are wrapping up things at work/school. And also, it is E3, and interest might shift with big deals being offered. That is completely true what he's mentioning over here. One of those examples might be the Xbox Live Game Pass. Right now you can get for $1 a lot of different games. For example, Metro Exodus, the new Metro game. Also, some new games release new updates. One of those games is Fallout 76, if somebody still plays that game. And in general, people might be done for now with the game, like I mentioned before. He continues though, yesterday evening I just logged off because the fight sucked. The other two factions were double teaming us hard and not fight each other at all. While I think that Planetside 2 is a really good game at its core, it also has some core values that suck sometimes. In this case, we got the 3-faction system, where 2 teams can decide to focus down on one other faction. I'm going to finish with one other comment from Natech Battlerank 120, and he often does other insightful comments, but he also mentioned the following. Look, must suck to be the receiving end, we need this game to get out of constant double teaming. And I think that's more or less like a community effort, but well. But instead, they focused on other crap we didn't ask for. DX11, I guess, only happened because of Planetside Arena. There's no proper tutorial, crappy map meta, still RNG implant system, and the worst thing, Iridar stopped working on Planetside 2 content, and Reddit is full of people that are justifiably angry and toxic. We knew the update would break things, but we didn't expect that it actually would ruin the whole gaming experience that much. Just look, they baited shit tons of players with DX11 and double XP. Where are those people now? That's actually a great question, Natech, and that is actually something that surprised me. In some ways, the DX11 hype is not over yet, because still there are more people than we had before. Some of those new or recurring players actually decided to stick with the game, and to give you some quick numbers, in April 2019, so the last April we had, there were on average in the game 1,545 players online according to Planetside 2 Visu stats. But if we compare it to right now, June 16, I got some numbers, also Planetside Visu stats, it says on average 2,063. So I think we can safely conclude that as a short-term effect of the DX11 upgrade, we got on average 500 more regular players, and this number seems pretty stable the last few days. And that is still a pretty decent increase of 33%, yeah, 33% more players after the DX11 update. So ladies and gentlemen, Yes, the hype is over, but no, this game is not dead at all. And yes, there will be more people leaving during the summer, and yes, there might be some new games coming out that people might try instead of Planetside 2, and yes, Planetside Arena will be a thing in the summer as well. We have now seen the effect of the DX11, and it did not bring the popularity back to Planetside 2 that much. It did increase the player count, and it is still very good. But in the end, Planetside Arena is going to decide what the future of Planetside will be. Will it be a more popular mainstream game, or will it be this very niche game that it has always been, more or less? Other than that, guys, we've still got Usher coming in the end of 2019 or maybe beginning 2020, so we have something to look forward to. But okay, that is me, guys, that is Fable 1, and I will see you soon with some more content.